When are you going to start recording? I love you.
You're always mean to me.
You're the love of my life. When are you going to start recording?
I already started recording a while ago.
Okay, let's go.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Renee from thefunsizelife.com and the Fun Size Life here on YouTube. And I drug along Tom, my husband Tom, for his very first any social media whatsoever. He's super thrilled about it. We thought we would just take some time to talk about our big downsize. So it's something that I talk about a lot. I talk about how we downsized from a really big house to a kind of like a starter home with our 3 kids. I feel like I always talk about my side of the story, and Tom never really gets to talk about his side of the story. So I thought we would do that today and share from both perspectives for you guys. We're doing a happy hour talk, right? Stop.
I can't just stop moving.
Okay, but you can't wiggle the whole thing. You ready? What? Let's talk about like why we moved into the house in the first place.
Oh, and you made me.
I didn't make you. This is why we've got the wine. But I didn't make you. You felt pressured.
Felt pressured, yeah.
And our realtor kind of, I think he coaxed me.
Yeah.
He'd pull me away from Tom and he would tell me like, you just tell him that you're going to make up the extra money. It's not going to be a big deal. Just tell him it won't be a problem. It won't be an issue. It won't be a big deal. But I knew Tom was super stressed about it. And our realtor had told us like our payment would be like $400 cheaper than it wound up being, which apparently is illegal. You're not supposed to do that, right?
Yeah, we had a set payment. We didn't want to go higher then, and he said it was going to be in that area, maybe $100 or so more, and it ended up being almost $500 more than what we wanted to pay.
It was a really big jump, and it kept jumping. So it was like even when we were signing the papers, I remember he quoted a certain number, and then we got there to sign the papers, and we saw the actual payment in front of us. And you like wanted to back out the day before.
I did. We went and looked at a couple other houses, and we weren't seeing anything, and yeah, I was ready to back out.
And we were already like living with his parents, so I told him he could back out, but I was like crying because it was an exhausting process. I think we were both really tired. We couldn't find a house. We were already living with his parents, and did we actually like living there?
I always said like, wish we could live in this neighborhood. Finally got the opportunity, but it was out of our price range, and we always looked at this particular neighborhood and we're like, oh man, if we could live there, that's like the goal. That's where we want to end up there. And I think like it was kind of exciting and kind of super stressful at the same time. At first, it's like I said, I was stressed out because of the money situation. I didn't like the monthly payments. Kind of thought we could afford it by doing a couple different things, but then I felt pressured, like I had to compete with all the neighbors, and I had to live that lifestyle, you know. I mean, our cars weren't the proper cars to be sitting in the driveway.
Oh yeah, you'd always be like,
yeah,
get the focus on. People shouldn't see the focus. Just put a shrub in front of it or something.
I had to have the best lawn on the block. I had to have that right curb appeal, and just we kept dumping more and more money into the outside, and then I felt if we were going to have people over, we had to update the inside, and just kept racking up more credit card debt to try to. I mean, it was a beautiful house, but I just felt like we needed to present it properly and all that. And it's too much. I really didn't enjoy living there.
Moving into this big house, I had worked for a photographer when I was going to school, and she had a big, beautiful home and had a studio in her house, which kind of made me think maybe that's what I wanted to do. So I felt like I needed to have this big, beautiful home. I was like, more clients are going to take me seriously if I have this nice house. Like, that will make me more legit as a photographer if I've got this beautiful home. Trying to think of all the ways to fill these spaces that we had, and then when I think about that, it made me feel like, oh my God, we're gonna have to like buy so much stuff and it's just gonna take forever and we're gonna have so much, it's either credit card or it's not. And I was trying not to do credit cards for it. But then it just felt like we had this big empty house, like it's like a mansion with like lawn furniture inside or something. That's kind of what it felt like. We were laying in bed our first night in our big room, and it was like we had this big master bedroom, and it was like we could probably fit like 4 king-size beds all the way across the back wall.
Comfortably, yeah.
Really, we just had like a dresser and a bed, and you felt this obligation, like we should get pretty nightstands and we should get a new chair, like a little like reading nook in the corner. I think we started to realize like I didn't want all that stuff. It seemed like a lot of work. It was a nice house, but I don't know that we ever really felt like it was a home for us. It always felt kind of off.
I did. No. I didn't.
When did you realize we made a mistake?
I instantly knew it was a mistake.
The pressure was like on me, I kind of felt like. He said, you just make up the extra amount. You make up for this giant gap in mortgage payment. So I kind of felt like I had to work more and I had to pull in this money and I had to make it happen. And then that would keep Tom happy. If I was able to bring in enough money, then it would make him happy and it would be fine. And Tom just kind of like got more and more depressed and like talked to me less and less. And I kept trying to like stay positive and stay optimistic. I think it put a lot of pressure on me because I was trying to maintain and be happy. But I think at the same time I wasn't really ever happy either. What did you think of when I told you we should sell? Do you remember that?
Oh my gosh.
When I told you we should just sell the house?
I was relieved.
You're relieved. I feel like you were like, we can't sell. Well, we won't have any money. We've only been here for 2 years. We can't. You did like these are all the reasons why.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Before you told me we should sell, actually, we had a big increase in property taxes or whatever, so we actually had to, our payment went up another $200, so we had to refinance to get our payment even back down. It was still more than what we were originally paying, but because our escrow ran out and everything else, so we actually had to refinance. So, I mean, obviously, we just added more money onto our payment.
I forgot about that. So stupid.
Another
so
$300
property taxes were probably like, there's like a couple $1,000 difference. That's a pretty big difference.
Yeah, so our payment
went up like $200 a month.
It was over $200 a month, yeah. And we refinanced to get it even like brought it down, but it was still like 25 plus more than what we were originally paying.
Yeah.
So I was upset because we just refinanced, and we actually did that in our last home too. So we lost out money on that one too because we weren't careful. We didn't know any better.
Now when we've had property tax bumps, we pay it.
Yeah, pay it in cash. Yeah.
Yeah, but then we did it.
Yeah, we sat down with somebody we could trust, a realtor we could trust, and went through all of our options and kind of figured out a way that we could still make a little bit of money to put a down payment on a house. And
yeah, man.
I felt stupid telling our neighbors and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. I mean, I don't know if everybody feels embarrassed. Most people probably do. I was embarrassed to admit that like we made this huge financial mistake, or to tell our neighbors like you can afford your house, but we can't. That kind of thing. Which,
I mean, we could afford it. We were really bad with our money and every other way.
When I think back, I'm like, oh, if we would have budgeted better, like it wouldn't have been as big of a problem.
But still, I mean, there was so much wasted space, and I mean, you could take that extra
that's true.
Extra money and put it to stuff that you really want to do.
Yeah, so I think if we would have budgeted our money better, we could have made the big house work. But like you said, like to me, like what it would have taken for us to be comfortable or feel like that house was like a home, I don't know if I ever could have, but it felt like it would take a lot. And we spent so much time like doing the yard work and keeping it clean. I got so sick of cleaning the house, and you got so sick. Like every weekend he'd be like, I can't do anything. I have to do this in the yard. I have to do this in the yard. We have to repair this. We have to fix this, or we have to whatever. That we never like wound up really spending any time together on any weekend you would actually have off. We used to be like a really close family. We used to do like everything together.
Just to vacuum that house, it would take like 2 hours just one person to vacuum it.
I hated it so much. Just picking up the toys. For me, it was like picking up the toys. The kids had toys everywhere. Did you think we'd ever actually succeed in getting out of our money pit?
No.
It was nice having the smaller house payment
Yeah, but
and less house to worry about, but we came into this house with so much.
I didn't ever see us getting out of debt.
Mm-mm. But we did it.
We did.
We did do it. Are you happier now?
Absolutely.
You don't hate me?
I never
You said
hated you.
You hated me.
There was a point that I was ready for our relationship, our marriage to end. I was so unhappy. I was so miserable being in that house. I was so irritated with you and frustrated with you. And I was so depressed and so angry about everything that house has done to us.
We did to ourselves.
That we actually did to ourselves. Yeah. We 100% put ourselves in that situation. I loved you, but I just didn't want to be around you.
So sweet. Oh my, it just gives me the warm and fuzzies.
I couldn't believe that you were doing that after we just refinanced and went through all that. And then,
but I was just trying because, like, I knew you were really unhappy. I knew our marriage. I told him several times. I'm like, I can't do this much longer. I'm trying to hang on for both of us, and I'm gonna tap out real soon here. I was like, we just gotta undo it. We gotta undo what we did if we're going to get back to being. If we were gonna get back to the life we were at before, or what we wanted to be. I felt like we needed to undo the damage that we did.
Yeah.
Even though I knew it would be hard. I knew it would be a pain in the butt. And I knew we had refinanced. And I knew it was a mistake. But...
we just made everything happen. We got into a house that... style home that we kind of always wanted. I
don't think so, though.
What do you mean?
You didn't really want to ramp. You didn't want to
yeah. I was never really a big fan of ramblers because I just always thought they were like too big and just wasted space in them. But this one's like perfect. Yes.
Well, I think after Grammy died, my grandma passed, and I knew we were so unhappy in the big house that we were in. It had 3 levels, had the basement, the main level, and the top level. All I could think was like, her house was the house that made me was the happiest place in the world to me. It had the best memories. No place felt more like home to me, and it was a 900 square foot home. And that was like my happy place. So I think part of me that's probably why I decided this is what I wanted. I was like, let's just find a 1 level. And they didn't have any. There was like hardly any. But you're happier.
Absolutely. Marriage is better. Life is better. We don't have to worry about every penny we spend, every dollar we spend, whatever.
You don't have to buy your clothes at Goodwill.
I don't have to buy my underwear at Goodwill anymore, yeah.
You might want to clarify that never actually happened.
We get to plan vacations and we get to travel and...
without stress.
Yeah.
Clink.
I do want a nice house for the family, but that's not what I want to be working for.
Not your main goal.
No.
What are your 3 things that you want the most out of life? What do you want to do or have or be?
I want a strong family, strong, happy family, and I want to be able to retire early, and I want to travel a lot.
I want to travel a lot and do stuff with our kids, give our kids some real life experience. All right, everybody, give a thumbs up just because super introverted Tom showed up here today and did this. You have to like it just to support him, but make sure you subscribe. I'm going to do my best to keep more videos coming and maybe more happy hours with Renee and Tom.